Welcome to Driveway Garage. Today I'm working on my Lexus RX300. The fan motor makes a kind of a clicking sound and it's annoying. So I'm going to take it apart, see if there's something stuck in there that's making the noise, or if it's something more serious, like maybe you have to replace something. I'll flip this around, show you what I'm talking about. So the fan motor, I'll pull this camera out a little bit, down behind the glove box. I'll turn the key on and you can hear it, I think. It makes that sound all the time it's on. It's kind of annoying. So I'm going to get on the other side. Got to get down on your hands and knees on the ground so you can reach everything. If I remember right, there's a couple screws on the bottom there. I checked my cabin air filter, but you don't have to take the glove box out for that. But I'm going to have to probably take the glove box out to get to the blower motor. I'm just hoping there's something stuck in there that's making that ticking sound. So let's get started. I'm having to learn as I go because to replace the cabin air filter, you don't have to take the glove box off. But to start with, there's two 10mm bolts. One down in this corner and one in the other corner. And there are also two Phillips screws. One right in the upper right corner and the upper left corner. So I'm going to take those out and see if the glove box will come out completely by itself or what the deal is. I just don't know. Well, that was pretty easy. Wasn't quite sure what to do, so I was careful, but there's 3 clips on the back at the top, and those just slip into some inserts up here. Now, when I was trying to take the glove box off, this bottom panel fell out, which I think I'd taken that out before, if I remember right. And then your blower motor is up under here, so let's get a look at that. Probably just got 2 or 3 bolts or screws holding it on, I'm assuming. But I also see this white thing is connected here with a bolt or a screw, so that probably has to come off, or at least get taken. Take this screw out, maybe pivot it to the side, and then I think the blower motor's in there. It's a Denso. Huh. Yeah, look at all that wiring in there. Wouldn't want that to catch on fire. You'd have a heck of a mess. All right, let me see what I can do here. You can just use basic hand tools, a socket, nut driver, screwdriver, whatever, but I'm using my Hitachi cordless drill because it makes everything faster. So I've got a Phillips screwdriver attachment for it, and then I've got a socket attachment for it. So I use it whenever I can because it just makes everything faster. So as I'm looking under here, I'm trying to figure out what I need to take out. And I don't think I have to take out this housing. I think just the motor. And it looks like there's a screw over here I took out. There's another one over there, if you guys can see it, and there's one in the back. And then I'm hoping that the blower motor itself will come down with the cage that spins around. Let's see if that's true. I took this screw out, thinking I was going to have to flip this out of the way, but I don't think this whole housing has to come out of here. So give me just a minute. So I got those 3 screws out. They have an 8mm. Let's see, that's not it. Yep, I guess that is it. It's an 8mm head or a star screwdriver kind of a thing, but I guess the way they made it, you can use a flat screwdriver, a star screwdriver, or an 8mm. There's 3 of those that come out. So you don't have to take the screws out in the big housing. You get the fan out. Now there is a wiring harness on the back of it that clips on, But what I'm going to do is check out up inside of here, see if there's something that's clicking on. And then I'm going to turn the fan on with it out of the housing and see if it's still making that clicking sound. But first I'm going to look it over just to see if there's something. Well, I can let you guys look with me. Let's see. Is there anything that should be clicking? Well, it's not making any clicking sound there. I don't feel anything up inside the housing there, so let me put the key in, turn it on, and let's see if it makes that clicking sound still. Well, there it is running. It's really not making that clicking sound. So I'm going to do some further investigation up inside. I did replace the cabin air filter, which is right here. And you can do that by taking, on the glove box there's a little panel that goes in the back of it. You take that out and you get access to this. So I'm going to take that out of there and see if I can see anything that might be touching this fan. You pull the little front plastic clip off the front of the air filter and it just slides out, the cabin air filter. Mine wasn't bad, but it had a little stuff in it. So I don't have any air in my compressor. I didn't feel like cranking it up. So I just took my leaf blower and hit it. And then I took this little detail brush and brushed back and forth and hit it again. So it's pretty clean now. Don't have to worry about that. So while you're down here, if you haven't changed your cabin air filter, you might as well. And this is the cover. It goes in there. You can see it's about a foot long, 10 inches maybe, 1.5 inches wide. It just snaps into place up there. No big deal. You just pull and it comes out. Then your cabin air filter slides in that opening. I just can't see anything that's making that clicking sound. It could be that this has enough play in it, maybe it's hitting something. I don't know. I have found in the past sometimes you take something apart and put it back together, it works. So if there was something in there, maybe it fell out. I'm going to put it back in and I'm going to turn it back on, see if it sounds any different. Well, I got it back in there. Don't you love jobs where you have to stand on your head to do them? Just pay attention when you take it out, where the screws go. There's one in this corner, one on the other side of the wiring harness, and one in the back corner. But I had to get in here and turn sideways so I can get my head down here and look up and see the screw holes, and it's a pain. But it still sounds the same, so I'll probably take it out one more time, take a look at it. I really don't want to replace the fan if there's nothing wrong with it. I just don't understand that clicking noise, buzzing sound, whatever it is. Give me a minute. So I was looking around and you can actually see the top of the fan and they're spinning around. It actually goes completely into a plastic housing at the top. So it just doesn't seem like it should be that noisy. I just don't know what it's touching though. But it's possible it's touching the housing someplace. I mean, the fan works great. It goes high and low, but it's just kind of that vibration, clicking almost sound that is annoying. I'll take it out one more time. Maybe I'll take it apart, give it a good cleaning, see if that helps. Now, if you happen to have a bad blower motor, bad cage there, it looks to me like you push in on this tab here and pull up on the wiring harness, and it also has a little clip here that clips onto the housing. You're going to have to get that off of there, and then the wiring harness will come off. If it's just the motor, there's a couple screws on here you can take out, pull that out of there. But I'm just going to take it apart, look it over real good, see if I can see any reason for it to be vibrating. Well, it looks like if you want to take this squirrel cage off, you just have to squeeze these two tabs together. It's spring loaded, and that's what holds that on to the shaft. So let me get that off there. So that little thing is kind of spring loaded, as you might guess. I went to set it on the workbench here and it slipped out of the pliers. Fortunately, I found it. it hit the door over there and fell on the ground and rolled on the other side of the door, so be careful. This is some of the stuff that came out from around the base here. So what I did is I just took a rag and slid it in the crack there and ran it around and cleaned it out as best I could. It got rid of most of the buildup in there. I don't know if a guy could take some brake clean and shoot it in there, if that would be a bad thing. You know, I do have some compressed air someplace in a can. Let me see if I can find that and dust this off. So I remembered I had this can of dust and lint remover. So let's see what we can do here. Oh yeah, that's getting a little dust out of there. Places I can't reach. And I just don't want to start up my compressor this morning. I can see there's some built up dirt on that fan blade. Maybe I'll take it over to the garden hose. Just be careful not to get the motor wet. Spray that baby off. Well, I'm not having any luck getting this squirrel cage off. There's a little prong right there that I pried back, and then I tapped the metal shaft with the hammer, and it's flush now, but I tried a couple of plastic tools, the ones you use on trim, but I really don't want to break this thing. I don't know how much it costs, but I don't want to replace it. So if a guy can figure out how to put some pressure on the bottom up, then you could probably take a center punch or something and tap on here, and maybe that would pop off of there. But I tried putting pressure on it and it's just not wanting to release. It's almost a two-person job. I'll see if maybe I can just clean it with the garden hose, get the dirt off the fan blades. Could be it's just out of balance. Well, it's not perfect, but it's better. I got a lot of the big chunks off. I really wish I could get that off of there, but I just don't want to break it. I'd rather be annoyed than have to replace the fan. So I got it cleaned up pretty good. I held it in my hand and used my leaf blower and let it spin around and dry pretty good. Then I used the dust buster little thing and blew it some air around there. I'm just going to snap it back together and put it back in there and see what it sounds like. I guess I'm going to have to live with it because I don't want to replace the housing and I don't want to replace the fan. I'll just put up with it. Well, I turned it on again, plugged it in, and it's not the quietest one in the world, so I'm just going to have to live with it. Just remember, when you put it back in, you got your 3 screws, and the wiring harness, when you get it clipped on, kind of wraps around the front of the motor. And there's little indentations for these half circles here, so you can't put it in wrong. And now I see there's this part over here. It's got to be in a certain place. I think that's the one that goes at the back. So you can't put it in wrong. Put those 3 screws in. In my case, I'll put this screw back in that I took out, and put the filter back in, the cover on it, and I guess I'm done. Thanks for watching. Hope this helped you out if you have to check or replace your blower fan or squirrel cage or whatever. The rest of this housing has just got some screws on the outside of it. Maybe 4, 5, 6. I don't know. I can see one here and one here. So if you had to replace this whole housing for whatever reason, or take it off, I guess if you got a mouse built a nest in there, you might have to take it off and clean it really good. That can be kind of nasty. Thanks for watching. Feel free to like, share, and subscribe. When you put it back together, it works good if you get your 3 tabs at the top lined up, put those in place, and then shut your glove box. That'll kind of hold it in place. It makes it a lot easier. Everything will go into place and you can get these 2 bottom bolts in. Then of course, once you have those done, you can come back up here, open it up, put your top 2 screws in, and you should be good to go.